Hello everyone, it's Mike. Welcome back. I had a lot of requests to do the lubrication video for this F unit. But before I do that, let's talk about the perils of pre-order and my overall thoughts of this locomotive here. So I opened up my Santa Fe AA set, and there's my Super Bass B. And I have to say, why I say it's a peril of pre-order, if I saw this set in the store prior to buying it, I would not have purchased it based on the color. And also, again, we have some flaws going on here. So I love yellow. I've had a yellow Corvette. I love my yellow trains. I like my Union Pacific, my KCS with yellow. I like my Santa Fe's with the yellow. But this yellow is like a bright canary. I don't even know if you'd call it a canary yellow. It almost has like no hint of orange in it. So just not a fan of this color. And, again, you can see here we have some roof paint flaws on it. Oh, what? We have another missing hook here. If you look at the B unit, I don't even have the other A over here, but all of this paint is all discolored. I don't know if it's showing up there or not. I mean, you can sort of see these three dots. Then on the roof back here, you have the paint flaws. And there's like lots of little ones. If I get really close on this, I'll show you. So you see the black spot in the paint there. Then you see those black spots up here along the roof. Just to set the record straight, here are my 70-year-old Santa Fe's that I love. These are post-war from the 2234W set. And these were used and played with. And the roofs are about as perfect as I'd expect for something that I bought used that's 70 years old. And, it has a little nick here. But why would I settle for a brand new set of locomotives with about the same number of paint flaws as my 70-year-old locomotives in the fit and finish on the roof? And we already saw the Southern Pacifics. They had the same story. On a positive note, the paint job around the locomotive itself is really good. But let's go back to that Peril of pre-orders real quick. So when I look at why it's sort of perilous to the pocketbook to pre-order something, which I know that's the way Lionel and the whole industry does business now, which really sort of sucks because the volume of people buying these have obviously fallen off so dramatically. They can't take the risk of just building X quantity and it not sitting on the shelves in dead inventory forever, because it's so hard, I guess, for them to predict what inventory levels to produce. So they do a lot of like build to order stuff, and most shops around here don't order anything. You have to pre-order everything. But if I look at this book, a couple of things I really don't like about this set now that it came in person. I thought this might have just been a flaw here, but the back of this, the ends of the locomotive being painted dark blue, not cool. And then this locomotive has yellow hand railings. These locomotives have silver. So that's one thing that, besides the color, I'm not super happy about. You can never really trust this book because what they do a rendering of or a photo of may not be what you end up with, as we've seen on some different paint color schemes. I mean, those two KCS SD40Ts up there were out of the same exact year, same exact catalog, and one is gray and one is like a whitish gray. So you just never know what you're going to end up with. So that's why I'd rather be able to walk in the store and say, yeah, I want that. Because another thing that I'm sort of bummed about is I almost bought these in Athearn in HO scale with DCC and sound because they were just gorgeous. And then, I literally had them in my hand at the hobby shop, and then put them down and decided to order these. And now those aren't even available to buy because they sold out of those at the hobby shop, and they're really good looking locomotives. Huge Santa Fe fan here. So when I'm looking at the different renderings, trying to figure out what Lionel was thinking on this paint job, I mean, you know, you have different front decal on a lot of them, and I was expecting more along the lines of this with a little bit of orange color in it. And I see this like really bright in the sun, but that's the, you know, the freight colors, the Santa Fe yellow and dark blue. Then we have this guy down here that still looks like it has orange in it. And, you know, I'm not real happy that they put Santa Fe. The words are a lot bigger there than here on the A units. So the B unit, it's like, I don't know, 3 times bigger font. If you were on like a computer, you're like on like a bit larger number compared to your smaller number here. So I kept searching, looking to see, you know, this one's really bright. Then this one's more of the orange. And this one's more of the orange. And then some of them have like the silver front pilot. Some of them have the dark blue. So I was just trying to find a good point of reference, and I found this 347C, but the front is a little bit different decal. And this is all dark. And this is, I think this could be, I don't know, not a real photo, or it's enhanced or something. But that was as close I could find to like a canary yellow color. So I think that the mark was missed. And anyway, that's the risk. I mean, I even like the yellow on this Frisco better. All right, let's quit carrying on about the overall color and finish. And, you know, I pulled up these pictures also just because I think I'm going to take this example right here and weather the locomotive to look like this one. Because I'm not a fan of the black trucks and the blue, but when you've got that dust and dirt on that, it actually looks acceptable to me. So I took the shell off so I can weather it and also lubricate it. So the lubrication part of the video, this was a really easy locomotive to disassemble. It was 6 screws. And then you could pull off the shell, and then once the shell is off, you had basically the front wire here to release the little plug, and then I went ahead and unscrewed the circuit board because I'm going to be spray painting the dull coat onto the locomotive, and I don't want any electronics to get any type of overspray on them, no matter how good I tape off the locomotive. So I went ahead and undid that. And then one of the cool things I really liked about this locomotive is they changed it up. It now has a drive system in it, much like the switchers, that you have what looks like a U-joint off of a car that's on the bottom of the motor that fits into this right here. And I've already removed a cover here off of the truck. And this truck was really easy to come off. You just have to rotate it so it's perpendicular to the chassis, and then it drops right out. Once you release the 2 motor screws, which are right here, that comes right out. Now, I was also pleasantly surprised to see that they made an effort to put a little bit of grease on the gears. Not as much as I would like, but at least there was a little bit. Unlike the drive gears being completely dry, you can rub your finger on the drive gears and you don't even get black stuff on your finger. So it looks like they went ahead and lubricated the internals, and we just have to apply some grease to the externals. So I'll be putting that all back together. And when I removed the shell, another thing that I totally didn't think about was Lionel did not give you figures in one of the A units. Only one of the A units comes with the figures, and all the other years, since I can remember, you get figures in the front unit and figures in the rear A unit. So that was sort of a disappointment there. I mean, not a good spot to cut a corner, because I just got done bragging on my Southerns how great it was that you could take the A unit without sound, couple it with a super bass B, and then have your A unit with sound with a powered B, and you could have two complete, you know, AB setups and run them that way and get all the features and sounds that you would expect to have by having a super bass B with the A, and the A with sounds with the powered B. So sort of robbed of that now. So I'm gonna have to find some little guys to get and glue in there. And I looked at my Southern Pacifics, and sure enough, they don't have figures either. So it wasn't just a, whoops, we forgot. Then the other really interesting thing is these have the little washers, but this top falls off just on its own. Like if I put that top on there, it just falls right off. Yet, if I take something metal, I mean, it almost can lift up the whole train with a tip of a screwdriver. The whole shell, I should say. So, whoever ordered these washers here, these are aluminum and not metal. So it was great to see that they're there, but they don't serve a function, and the top just falls off all the time if you pick up the locomotive. So I'll have to find a solution for that. It does have the magnets though. All right, so the other tip and trick for when you're removing the shell, I know I'm bouncing around a little bit back and forth, just giving you my thought processes as I went through all of this, right? Is you got to be careful on your couplers that you don't catch your little brake lines on the back, because that will just snap them right off in a second. Something that would be really helpful for Lionel to do, that I'm sure wouldn't break the bank because they pay pennies on the dollar, is include a few extra figures in the box for those that would like to have the figures. Obviously, now that I've had two locomotives missing one of these lift ring hooks, you know, and this isn't the first time, but, you know, why don't you just include 4 or 5 extra ones? I mean, what's the expense there? Like, they probably get 100 for 10 cents or something. Include them with the locomotive as extras if you know you have a problem with them coming completed on your locomotives. That would be my other tip. And then, you know, if you're not going to put grease on the gears, let's get some gear oil. But my number one thing would be, let's get the number of units sold per year up to an amount that we can actually get some of these on the shelves and look at them in person. Or, you know, maybe you released the prototypes a year before and run a video on each of them, so we can say, before we spend our, you know, $1,600 on a set, that we're going to be like, God, I just wasted so much money. And make that determination and not make your customer pay the price whenever something does not turn out very good, like this paint color on this set here. So the other tip, just make sure when you're putting your replacing your shell back onto your chassis here, you don't over tighten the screws. I can't tell you how many locomotives I've seen that I needed to do service work on, that people had broken off the little plastic pieces inside the shell because they over tighten, right? So just be careful there. Well, that's my video on the Peril of Preorders. A little bit about how I would service and lubricate this. I mean, this is going to be pretty straightforward. Since I got this truck all apart, I'm not going to take and show you what I would do as far as lubrication. It would just be flip the truck over, apply some of your, model train type grease to it, or, some people prefer a few drops of oil. I do along the inside of the truck where the bushing and the wheel would meet too, just so it doesn't have any friction there, but then just hit the gears lightly. And I'll probably add some more grease down inside the gearbox there. But I was excited to see that these don't have just a standard worm gear. Like my veranda I just had still had worm gears, my Army veranda. And pretty cool to see that they made this upgrade. I will also say that I need to service my 2017 switcher because it had that truck problem where the rear truck, the screws weren't put in and it's dangling. And that one is a nightmare because all of this stuff is beneath the boards and you got to remove some of that stuff. So that's my video for tonight. Just, be careful on your pre-orders. I would probably, now, if I was going to buy something Lionel again, I would probably take the chance at buying it from Train World or, Nicholas Smith or Mr. Muffins or Charles Rowe. One of the big guys that order a few extras that maybe you could get to it before they're sold out. Just so you can see some people run it on YouTube and see if you really like it. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that may love this bright yellowish color, but I'm just not one of them, and I'm a huge Santa Fe fan. So I've been watching a lot of the Ink Master tattoo. When they talk about doing a cover-up, well, that's what I'm about to do on this, is do some cover-up and try to make this an acceptable locomotive for my fleet. Because I think I would have trouble selling it being this color. So let me know what you think about the color. Let me know if you have any other questions around assembling or disassembling this F unit for some servicing. And thank you all for your subs and for checking out my videos. I've had a lot of good comments and flow as far as conversations go. And sorry to hear about so many people out there that are having problems with Lionel. Hopefully they're paying attention to their fans and will address some of our concerns. And, we can go from there because we're in this hobby together and no one likes to waste their hard-earned money. So with that being said, have a great night and I'll talk to you next time.